All right, hello everybody. I'm Chris Agrell, principal of Christ the King School, and I'm here with
Jeannie Stover, assistant principal.
And we're happy to be here. We're excited to be here as always. But just to start things off, it is Monday, September 20th, and just the status of our school, which is we always start with that. Last week we did have a 5th grader and a 7th grader who did test positive for COVID. They're in the same family, and they are both quarantining at home. We also had 7 exposures, but they were all outside of school, so we have a number of students that are quarantining based on last week. So, and we just know that's going to happen. It's just the nature of what happens. We just take it in stride. The nice thing is that the kids are staying safe at school. We're not getting exposures at school, which is just really wonderful. Had we had no masks in school, I'm afraid we would have had some really large groups that we would have to quarantine.
Exactly.
And that's definitely what we don't want to do. We want to keep our kids in school as much as possible, and so far I think we're doing that, which is really nice. Just a couple things about COVID or our quarantine policy. We do use a 10-day quarantine policy for exposures. We do that. The CDC does recommend that. We feel it's the safest way to go. The CDC also does give the option of getting tested on or after day 5, and if the test is negative, returning from quarantine on day 8. We do not do that at Christ the King. I mean, we wish we could get the kids in here a little earlier. It would save a couple of days. But the tests that are out there, the best one is the PCR test, but there's rapid tests, there's home tests, there's just so many different things. You can even go and they'll give you the swab to swab yourself. So if you do it right, okay, it's probably more accurate, and if you don't do it right, it's maybe not as accurate. So for those reasons, there's just so much variety in the tests, and we really need those tests to be accurate to know if a child should be coming back to school. So we just go with the 10-day quarantine. I know sometimes it's hard to understand. You want your kids back in school. We do too. But we're doing that just to keep everybody here safe and protected. It's just one of those things. Most of the time, it doesn't make that much of a difference by a day or two. But we just feel this is the best way to go for us here in the school. So please understand, when it is time to quarantine because of an exposure, it is going to be a 10-day quarantine. That's just what we've got to do. So I'm sorry we can't do more than that, but it is really difficult to validate the test. Which one did you get? Was it accurate? We're doing so many things here in the school. A lot of times, Mrs. Stover and I were covering classes for absent teachers, and we just cannot be at the computer. We can't be validating all these things. So, and that does take time to do that. So that's another reason we just want to play it safe with the 10-day quarantine. Also, just a reminder, if you are getting your child tested, if they've been exposed, outside of school, whatever, and you are going to get them a test, and we recommend the PCR test because that is the most accurate test you can get. Sometimes it's not the fastest, but a lot of places are actually turning those PCR tests around a lot faster than they were ever before. But once you get your child a test and you're waiting for the results, they need to stay out of school, and any siblings, any brothers and sisters, any other family members that are going to school, they also need to stay out of school as well until those tests come back and those tests are negative. And you might ask, well, okay, only one is being tested. Why do my others have to stay out? And the reason for that is if the test comes back positive, then we have an instant exposure. I mean, the siblings are exposed at home if that other child gets a positive test. So it just keeps us safer at school if we have everybody just wait at home until the test results come back for whatever child is getting tested, or sometimes all of them are getting tested. So please remember that. We've had a couple of situations where we've had someone out getting tested and other siblings are in school, and when we find out, we have to send them home. But just do that. It makes things a lot easier for us. There are a lot of folks that are getting tests done, and we don't even know that they're getting tests done. All of a sudden we hear, oh, so-and-so got a negative test. please at least communicate with the office and let them know, hey, we're getting a test, we're holding our child and our other kids home from school until we know what that test is. So at least we know what's going on. We can let the teachers know, and we can be ready if we need to kind of move in one direction or another. So anyway, those are some of our COVID things. I think overall we're doing really well. The kids are doing well with the masks and with disinfecting and doing everything they need to do. And we're bringing things back as normal as we possibly can be, which is really wonderful to see our clubs and our activities and mixing things happening. It's really nice to see that. Fall Festival was a great example of getting back to normal. That was really outstanding. Mrs. Stover will talk about that in a little bit. The last thing I want to talk about this morning is free school lunches. This past week, I received approval for an application that I put in for the Seamless Summer Option is what it's called. It's a program that provides free school lunches for everyone in your school. And the reason for this, it's a federal program, and it just assists families who might have some potential hardships because of the pandemic. It's just kind of a nice thing that's out there. So we applied for it, we got approval for it. So going forward, all of the school lunches are free to our families. Also, I was able to backdate it, so if you were charged for lunches already, from the beginning of school until just last week, I work with Mr. Odom. We'll go back and we'll credit your accounts on that, so you won't have been charged for any of the hot lunches, previously. It does not include extra portions. You do have to pay for those. And also, if you're just getting a milk, like if your child brings a cold lunch and they just order a milk, it doesn't cover that, and it doesn't cover extra milks. The only thing it does cover is the hot lunch, which does include a milk with it. So please know that just with the Seamless Summer Option, all the lunches here at Christ the King are now free, just the normal portion lunches. So we'll be starting that immediately, and it's kind of nice that we can do that. So just a little nice thing for our families to kind of save a little bit of money for you, and especially if you're struggling because of the pandemic. We understand that. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Mrs. Stover. She has some pretty good things to talk about. So Mrs. Stover.
So last time we talked about our new program, Crusader Kudos. For our younger students, actually we decided to do Crusader Kudos for all of our kids. Just a kind of a positive way to say nice job today, and it's a positive office referral to us. So we've been seeing a lot of those lately.
We have, yes. Yep. It's great.
And then, starting this week, we are changing our merit rewards. Not everyone is a huge fan of the sweatpants and sneaker days, especially now that we can wear sneakers every day.
Right. It's not as cool.
So now when students fill out their merit cards, they will get a choice off of the merit menu. And our merit menu will include a student dress down day, which they can still wear their sweatpants. They can wear joggers, Crocs.
Yeah, I mean, it gives them a lot more freedom.
Yep, more freedom.
Within reason.
Yes.
Within reason, but we trust our kids. We know that they kind of know the drill.
They do a nice job.
They do.
Or a special snack, or a soda, or a Gatorade is kind of their other two options that they can do.
Yep.
We'll start that once again tomorrow. So students, when they start filling in those merit cards, which we've had a ton of students already fill in their merit cards.
Yes.
They will be able to choose from the merit menu. And
that's for 3rd through 8th graders.
3rd through 8th grade, yes. Okay. Yep. Huge thank you to the Fall Festival Committee. What a success on Saturday evening. It was a little warm, but it was a huge success. We had a great time seeing all the families out there. So thank you for supporting the school. And those who have supported the classroom coupon books and the teacher experiences, those will be rewarded during the week of October 18th through the 22nd. And your child's teacher or the teacher whose experience they have will be reaching out to those families with more details of going forward. Some of the teacher experiences, though, will take place after that week just because of having to order special materials.
And ours is one of them.
Yep.
With the 5-star lunch. Yep. We're going to try to do that in the spring because we think it might be better timing. So, I mean, that's an example of one of them. Mm-hmm. So, and I know for some of the science experiments, they
have to order some things.
Yeah, they chat with the student who got it, first of all, to know what grade level they're at,
Yeah.
what their interests are, and then they order some things. So sometimes those are a little bit later too. So,
Yeah.
but they're all good. They're all good.
But it was a huge success. I can't wait to see kind of what the total was and
Yeah.
how much. But a huge shout out to Katie Grosshands for leading the pact on that, and the Parents Club for organizing and having a great night for our school community.
And there were so many committees, so many
So many.
volunteers. I mean, we were out there, and
Yeah.
you brought your family,
I
which
did
is
too.
great.
Yep.
I stayed for a little bit of time, but you stayed for a
It was
lot of
dark.
times.
It was dark by the time we
Yeah,
left.
yeah. So that was really good. But it was so nice to see everybody, and even see a lot of our alumni that came back from last year, because we couldn't have one last
Yeah,
year, so
a lot
they
of
felt they
freshmen.
wanted to come back. Yeah, which is really good. Saw a lot of our current families and a lot of families that I remember from many, many years ago. So it was really a nice community building, coming back together.
And we had people that weren't even part of the school or the parish
That's right.
showing up.
That's right.
A lot of more neighborhood kids.
It was good.
So
It
that
was
was great.
It was really good, and a pleasure to see that happen again. And but yeah, thanks to so many folks that made that possible. It was just incredible, and they all set up. They set up so fast,
Yeah.
and they took down so fast, which is really good
Yeah.
too. So, well, with that, that's our update for this week.
Yeah.
I think we did
That was
pretty
a short
good.
one.
That was a short one. As always, thank you so much for your support. We really couldn't do all the things we do without your support. Thank you again for everything that you do, just in making it possible for us to have the school open and running efficiently. So we love our teachers. Our teachers are doing an incredible job. Our students are doing an incredible job, and you as parents are doing an incredible job too. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Be safe, and God bless. Bye-bye now.